Welcome to Friday Night Sports Show. I'm Cody Feldman here with
Jonathan Gold.
And today we have a very special guest from the softball team, Alex Miller. How are you today?
I'm good, Cody. How are you?
My first question is about your batting average on the season. Batting .421, very good. How can you kind of speak about the contact, the hitting that you've done so far?
I'm happy with how I've been doing this season. I had a little bit of a rougher start with coming off of an injury and trying to get back in the swing of things, but I think on our last few games, I really figured out how to make contact and just put the ball in play, and that's all you could really do in this sport.
I mean, going into more of the advanced statistics, your on-base percentage is .463 and your slugging's at .500. How does it make you feel because you did have the jump from last year?
I'm pretty happy with it. I think our team in general is very good at just getting on base and making sure no matter how we have productive at-bats, and you can't score runs if you're not on base. And we've just, this season especially, have been very good about making sure we're getting on and driving runs in.
You mentioned an injury coming off of winter sports. How has that affected your start of the season? I know you missed a couple of games, and how have you adjusted to it so far?
I think I've figured it out at this point, but it was definitely tough missing a bunch of the winter workouts and the early season practices before and like the scrimmages and stuff like that. But I think my team's also been very supportive and helpful throughout, and I've done a lot of work outside of practice figuring out how to get back. And I think I'm back at this point, so that's good.
Now, over break, you guys do have a tradition where you guys go down to Florida and play a couple of games. Do you think that really just going down and traveling as a team can also just boost team morale instead of just playing good?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we came back a lot closer than we had left, and we grew with each other as a team, and we did a bunch of clinics together at Florida as well and learned a bunch of new stuff, which we have been using since we got back. And just the overall morale has been so much higher since we returned.
Now, you guys do have 2 games left on the season, Tuesday the 7th against Garden City and Thursday the 9th against Sewanaka. Who are the key players that we should really look out for going into the games and also heading into playoffs?
I think our pitcher, Eva Ponte, has done a really great job being our rock this season, keeping a really strong defense. She strikes out a ton of people every game, and without her, we blow games open by scoring runs and giving up none, and she's a really key part in that. I also think Caroline Brock has done an amazing job with her hitting this season especially. She is leading the team in many stats on that, and she just always figures out how to get on base no matter the pitcher.
We're now going to transition to everyone's favorite part of the show, everyone's favorite segment, the DJ question from Hudson Menzel. Hudson, what do you got for Alex today?
All right, if you could have lunch with any famous person, so celebrity, musician, anything, who would it be?
That's a good question. I would have to. That's a good question. I would say I'd have lunch with, I guess Aaron Judge, because I'd love to get some tips.
Awesome, great choice. Don't know who that is.
JoJo mentioned that there's only 2 games left in the regular season, but the playoffs are fast approaching in a short spring season. How far do you think the team can go? And what's been the conversations with coaches and players about the potential of this team?
Yeah, so we are currently leading our conference. So if we win the conference, I think at this point we've clinched a playoff spot. And our first round is looking like we will be playing either Hicksville or Baldwin, which are the division above us, but in the lower part of that division. And we had a non-league game against Baldwin earlier in the season that ended in a very close game. We did lose, but it was a very competitive game, and I believe if we went against them again, we could pull out the win this time. And yeah, so hopefully good things. I think this team has the potential to really take it far.
We do have a reoccurring segment on the show where we send it over to a fan and they ask a fan question. We're lucky to have in the studio today Mason Grosso.
Obviously, the team success is the most important part, but do you have any goals as an individual player this season?
As an individual player, I would definitely like to step up my defense a little bit. Turning double plays, we don't get the opportunity to do it often because there's honestly not, with our amazing pitcher Eve, there's not that many balls hit to second base. There's not that many balls in play. But definitely if it gets hit to me and Caroline Brock at shortstop would definitely like to have the opportunity to turn more of those and be more successful with that.
Thank you so much for coming on. That's the time for today. And thank you all for watching the Friday Night Sports Show. I'm Cody Feldman here with John Gold, and see you next week.